Alright guys, before we get into the video, let's talk about futtrading.co.uk. Every single method you see in my videos can be found over on the website with buying and selling prices for almost every single card on the game. £10 a month gets you access to tier 1 buying prices. That's icons, special cards, silvers and Thursday flips. For £15 a month, you get access to tier 2. That gives you live filters, gold chem styles, UCL cards, and our amazing area of fluctuations where the market is continually monitored for highs and lows. You guys are then notified when to buy low and buy and sell high, basically. A really easy way to make coins. We've recently introduced a tier 3 thanks to you guys asking for us to develop a bot. Basically, we came up with a program, and what it does is it pings you every single minute pretty much. I think it's every 3 minutes. You will get pings telling you when cards are low and what to sell those cards for. I'm going to show you an example of that now. I'll be right back. Alright guys, and this is the area of the Discord for tier 3 users. As you can see, it is pinging you guys with the current price of these cards and the live target sell price. You have to cross-reference that with what the sell price has been recently and use some of your own market knowledge, but this runs 24 hours a day to make sure you guys are getting continual deals that you can keep making coins from the legitimate way. A new ping's just come up right there for new cards that you can go out right now, buy and sell. So check it out, get involved, futtrading.co.uk. But for now, let's get into the video. Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a new video with me, Fuzzball40. As always, if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe down below and make sure your notifications are turned on so you never miss an upload. Don't forget to check out the morning video, The Road to Glory. We started that I think 9 days ago now, and that team is looking ridiculous already. It's been insane. The pack luck during La Liga TOTS has been incredible. We've packed, I think, about 13 of those cards. It's been mad. It's been absolutely brilliant. And shout out to EA because the content during La Liga TOTS has been absolutely fantastic. I don't get why we didn't get that during Premier League TOTS, but while we've got it now, we'll be thankful for it and we'll celebrate it because it has been absolutely brilliant so far. And because of that, it's been brilliant to trade with. The market this week has been absolutely sensational. So now, it says here I've got 2.6 million coins. I don't. I have about 5.8 million coins. Actually, about 5.5 million coins because a couple of estimates I'm a little bit iffy on. But those who were in stream yesterday will know sort of price we picked some of these cards up for. So that Torres we picked up for 450. These Trezeguets were both under 95 or 95 in and around. The Sucre picked up for 97.5, so for 125 in the end. Larson last night picked up on the Twitch stream at 120 odd, so for 148. The rest of these cards all been picked up at basically really good profit. Owen was 97. This Cruz was a brilliant pickup. Handanovic was a 60k pickup. All using the tier 3 bot on the website. So if you want to check out the website, make sure you do. However, today is Wednesday, and as I always tell you on Wednesdays, it's all about Thursday flips. It's all about how you can make coins on this game based upon what we're going to get tomorrow. Some of what we get tonight as well can work with that. And it's vitally important that you're aware, like I say all the time, of what is on the game. First thing we're going to talk about before we get too far into Thursday flips is the sheer amount of content that currently sits on this game. So right now you've got a Gerard PK card. Everyone is hyping this card up and saying it's brilliant. And it is a brilliant card. It is. The pace is iffy on it. There's no point in getting around that. No way of getting around that. But I'm incredibly tempted to do this card on the RTG just because that's probably a relatively endgame centre-back if I'm not going to use full-backs at centre-back. I'm torn on it at the moment. But it is a brilliant card. And I don't think it's too expensive at 300k. It's not terrible. You've got to couple that with the fact that tomorrow we're going to get picks. There is icon swaps out at the moment. That's why EA have priced it when they priced it. And I don't disagree with it. I think it's cool. But you see all these player SBCs, it's non-stop player SBCs, alongside the Liga TOTS challenges, the icon pack, Coutinho there as well, the 85x5, the 85 plus player pick. It's been absolutely ridiculous in terms of content. So what has that done? It has sent fodder through the roof. It is absolutely, it's nearly doubled some of it. So if we look at like PK for example, he was down like 15k the other day. And when we're talking about investing in fodder, we're like, fodder's not too solid investment at the moment. My guy has doubled in value nearly. And it's because EA have spam content. And it's in EA's best interest to spam content because if you're someone debating opening up 100k packs with FIFA points or coins or whatever it is, you're not going to do that if you're not going to get a decent value return off of the packs. And more people are aware of what they're getting out of packs. But it is something to be mindful of because if fodder drops off like it did before, there's your cue to probably go and buy in because EA are going out of their way right now to throw content out there, and I think that continues for a lot of TOTS. The reason why I think they do that, I can say, is because they want to make money. EA wants to make money, and if they think if you think you're going to get 15k from a pack for an 86 walkout, you're not going to open a pack. A lot of people won't bother. They'll be like, well, why would I do that? So if fodder drops low enough tomorrow, there's enough content on this game that it bounces back. So during Div Rivals, Weekend League Rewards, be on the ball, look at fodder, look at those cards. 86s especially are doing very, very well at the moment. 85s are doing well. And if you want to know what is good and what isn't good fodder, let me just show you over on the desktop. You see here you've got like Verratti, he's 86 rated. All you've got to do is type into Google and say literally cheapest player by rating Footbin, and it brings it up. And you get an idea of where fodder was at and where it is now. So you just click on 1 month here, gives you his graph, and it tells you where he was at and where he is now. So you've got a rough idea that with all this like content, Verratti is currently sat at a high of 22,000 coins with all this content from 13,000 there. So you've got to be mindful of that, keep an eye on that because it's very, very important. That's how you find out good fodder. But while we're here, let's talk about Thursday flips. And this is La Liga TOTS. And all of your Thursday flips ideas should be based around this La Liga TOTS and potentially the Premier League TOTS. So, how am I going to decide what a good Thursday flip is? Now, in this video, I'm not going to spoon feed you by saying, go and buy these cards. There's 2 reasons for that. The first is I'm going out to buy some of these cards. And if I tell you, go and buy XYZ card, it will boost my investment because you'll all go and do it and I'll be able to sell my cards for profit. I don't like that. I'd much rather teach you guys how to do it and I don't want to be seen to be boosting my profits. So we'll explain how we look at that and what we do afterwards. So, this is La Liga TOTS and it's a very spenny TOTS. Because you've got De Jong at 1.3 mil, you've got Varane at 2.2 mil, you've got Messi at 3.86 mil. And even in the mid-range cards, they're still quite expensive. You've got 580k on Benzema, brilliant card by the way. 885k on Suarez, 400k on Alba. It's not a cheap TOTS by any stretch of imagination. 307 is Vasquez, which by the way is an unbelievable box-to-box midfielder. But when I look at this team, I look at, it's relatively centre-mid heavy. Llorente is a very affordable card, again, a brilliant card for what it costs. Casemiro is not that meta, but a good rating. People might get him in their picks. But I look for this team and I go, okay, cool. Where are the gaps in this team? Where are the problems with this team? Now, for me, one of the things you can straight away see, in my opinion, is that left mid is quite weak. You've got a Belgian in Carrasco, but that's it. There's only Carrasco there. Right wing, if you look at the right wingers on this at the moment, you've literally got Vasquez. There's now else other than that. So for me, it's like, well, cool. Centre mid, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So I'm not too interested in centre mid. Centre back, we have 2. We have Varane, we have Koundé. That's it. So during picks tomorrow, they're the 2 you could possibly get. Now, how many people are realistically going to get Varane? I'm not so sure. So I might start getting centre backs from that league. Centre backs from the Liga TOTS and go, okay, maybe have a little look at these and see if these are good value. Left back wise, yes, they've got Jordi Alba there, but not everyone has 400,000 coins to go and spend on Jordi Alba. It's not something that everyone can afford to go and do. Therefore, I'm quite interested at left backs. I'm like, well, let's say theoretically someone does get, I don't know, Llorente, and they want to link him up. Yeah, they can link him to Navas, fantastic, but not everyone wants to use Navas because he's got no strength. So there's an option there at left back as well. So for me, that's where I'm looking at it. Striker-wise, arguably, you could look at striker. You've got Gerard Moreno. This isn't a terrible card for 54k. It's not a great card, but it's not a terrible card. But you also do have that Isak card that is free, which is another card you want to look at because you're thinking, okay, cool. There's Isak there, how are you going to link him up? But I would just be mindful of those sort of things. So for me, the players that I'm looking at, probably right back, because not everyone's going to want to use Navas, although you do have Trippier, so be mindful of that. Centre back is definitely an area that I'm interested in, because not everyone's going to be able to afford or get Varane in their picks. And Koundé's good, but who else is going to link next to him? I'm interested at left back as well. And then a lot of people are going to get Oblak as their keeper for their pick. It just happens every time. I don't mind that. If I get him, I'm fine. He's 96 rated. I'm like, okay, cool. No problem. I've got 96 rated piece of fodder. But a lot of people can get Oblak in their picks. And last week we saw Diaz take a really big climb. A lot of cards like Laporte's rule breaker went up as well, because people got Edison in their picks. So what I then go and do is I have a little look. I go FIFA 21 players. In fact, I won't even go that way. It's a longer way to do it. Just go and click on one of these players. Click on Casemiro. And then what I'll do is I'll go to La Liga Santander here. And I'll just look at the positions in this league. And I'll go position and I'll go centre back. Have a little look at what we've got available to us at centre back. So we have Ramos. Again, how many people have 925k to spend on a centre back? Not that many people. People can go and do PK, no problem at all. But I look along and I say, okay, cool, what else we've got here? We've got Casemiro. We've got Diego Carlos. We've got Hermoso. We've got Varane's inform card. One of the things that you'll always know about FIFA is people can't afford the TOTS. They'll tend to go for the one below or the one below that. If people are getting Koundé in their picks, there's a chance they link that Varane to that Koundé. There is a chance that happens. Outside of that, you've got Jimenez. Not the most incredible card in the world, but if a lot of people are getting Oblak in their picks, there's a chance to get Jimenez. Because the thing you're looking for here is the people that buy in without having too many coins. People that maybe go gold 2 or gold 1. And they get a couple of picks and they go, right, actually, these are too good of picks to not put in my team. So let's maybe sell a couple of players and link them to La Liga players instead. And so that's where I'm interested in for sure. A lot of these cards here are very usable. Now, at this point in the game, I'd definitely be looking towards the higher pace guys. I think everyone's really talking about pace at the moment. And then outside of that, we can look at the right backs and left backs because some people will play full backs at centre backs. And not everyone, again, can afford to go out and buy Navas, although he's not too bad. But you've got Dest here as well as another option, another squad building option. So I might want to link him into De Jong potentially. 207k. If you've got the money to buy De Jong, you might want to buy Dest. I think you might go a little bit higher in terms of value, but there is a chance you do that. Outside that, we'll go left backs as well. We'll have a little look at left backs and go, okay, cool. You've got this Marcelo SBC. How many people are going to spend 1 million coins on Marcelo? I don't know. A few people, but I don't know. But you have Bashish. You have Mendy again. 769k is expensive. And Alba. So you look at all these cards in general. But the important thing you have to do at this point is click on these cards and have a look at what they've done over the last week. So for example, Alba last Saturday was at 103. This week is now up at 152. I had a look at him a minute ago and genuinely he was at 135. This card is flying right now. He is absolutely flying. Alba's man the match. Have a little look at him. And again, the spike from Saturday up into Sunday and then across 73k. He's at 78k right now. That doesn't mean that these cards aren't buys. It doesn't mean at all that these cards aren't buys. What it does mean, you have to be mindful and be careful not to spend too many coins because you need to allow for the rise. You need to allow for the fact. So for example, there's an Alba right now in the market at 83. There's 86. I'm interested in Alba to some degree because again, if you can't afford his TOTS, you're going to buy one of the ones below that. And if you can't afford 150 something k, you're going to buy Alba. You're going to buy his man the match. But you have to make sure there's not too much of a rise in it. That does not mean you can't buy these cards. It just means you have to be careful not to buy too high. So for example, you know right now the demand in Alba sees him around 83k. You can spend your time, take your time and go, okay, cool. Let me go and buy these Albas at 80k and below because I know if he's got a value of about 83k right now, if he gets to 90k, I've got about 5k profit per card. But if he dips off, I'm protecting myself a little bit purely because I've bought lower. There is no guarantees in this at all. But website subscribers, we are really, really, really looking hard at the market today to see what we can possibly do in terms of the best tips for you. And then outside of that, what I want to do again is I want to go back to this. Let's go to Suarez again. Let's click on La Liga Santander. We'll have a look at right wingers, for example. So you've got Vasquez as an option, but a lot of people are using him centre mid. So then right wing, for example, you've got very, 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 very slim pickings in this league. You've got Porto. You've got a Beckham card if anyone kept that. I don't think many people did. You've got Llorente. It's very, very slim pickings for right wingers in this league. So Porto could do okay. He could do decently well. If we look at left wingers, who we got here? You've got Griezmann, not too bad. Rodrigo, people did the SBC on him. The new undercard, a bit meh. Dogs are barking, apologies. Oyarzabal. There's very little left wingers in this league. I'll be back once the dogs stop barking. Alright, so the dogs have stopped barking. I definitely need to think about soundproofing this room because it is getting ridiculous at this point. But you have Carrasco. Outside of that, there's very few left wing options in this league. Very, very few. And so, is this somewhere that I'd put my money? Potentially maybe into like Griezmann, but no, not really. Lainez, there's very little. There's very, very little in terms of what coin you're going to make in these cards, in my opinion. I think if you're looking at La Liga Santander, you're probably just going to go and buy Carrasco because that's all you've really got as an option. So the plays inherently are going to be centre-backs. They're going to be left-backs, right-backs, potentially goalkeepers, but most people go out and buy Oblak. I don't think centre-mids necessarily are a bad play. It doesn't mean that you don't go out and buy centre-mids. But what it does mean is that you've got to be mindful that there are 4 in that team. A lot of them are going to be ending up in people's picks. For Kieran Llorente, I think you'll see quite often. Especially Llorente, considering how low his rating is. He's likely to be packed quite a lot. Last thing I just want to look at is centre-forwards and strikers. Something this league isn't that short of. But if you look at it, a lot of those centre-forward and strikers are Messi or Benzema because they both had very good seasons. And you've also got Isak there as well. Outside of that, your choices are quite limited. You've got Morales, who I think potentially could do well, and Naki, who could do quite well. There are a few decent cards in this league that could do okay. But I just think you have to be careful that you don't go out and spend loads and loads of coins on things like strikers when there are viable options there, especially one that's free in Isak. Because this card is absolutely brilliant. I've got one of RTG. He's sensational. But I'm going to be buying in today, and hopefully you guys are going to see how it works, how I do when it comes down to it. This will be Friday for you guys now, I believe. No, Thursday it'll be for you guys. Because I'm going to be buying in and spending all of my coins pretty much on these flips and to show you what happens, how it goes, how it doesn't go. It all comes down to time in terms of if I'm able to get a video recorded in the time that I've got to be grinding out stuff on the RTG. But we'll see how it goes. But that's the end of the video. If you are new around here, as always, make sure you subscribe down below. Make sure your notifications are turned on so you never miss an upload. But for now, I am out. Peace out. I'll speak to you soon.